Welcome back, everybody, to the Passive Income Lifestyle Series. I'm your host, Travis Watts. Disclaimers, as always, never financial advice. This is for educational and informational purposes only, so please seek licensed advice when it comes to your own financial investing decisions. With that top of mind, today's topic, we're talking about emotions, something that a lot of men don't want to talk about. But more specifically, we're talking about emotions when it comes to investing, and there's 5 mistakes that you and I want to avoid. So there was a study that came out in 2021 by a group called Magnify Money, and they outlined 5 emotional mistakes that many investors make. And check out these stats because they're crazy. Number 1, 66% of investors say they've made an impulsive or an emotionally driven decision that they later regret. Number 2, 32% of investors say that they have traded drunk. Oh man. 47% report difficulty keeping emotion out of the investing game. 37% of investors say they've lost sleep worrying about the stock market. And number 5, 30% of investors admit to crying over investing. And folks, we got to talk about this because it turns out that not even millionaires are immune to worries. Zooming into 2023, did you know that 70% of affluent investors perceive the market to be more volatile than usual? 69% of Americans are worried about the potential of a recession before the end of 2023. And 24% of Americans making over $100,000 per year claim to not be ready or prepared for an upcoming recession. And so with all of this in mind, I have to admit, first and foremost, in true transparency to you, that I've fallen prey to some of this, perhaps not trading while I was drunk or crying over investing, but certainly making impulsive or emotional driven decisions when it comes to investing, or having a hard time removing the emotions from investing. And I certainly have lost sleep from time to time when it comes to making investment decisions. I do have to admit that a lot of that's come from the publicly traded markets. It reminds me of the famous quote by Benjamin Graham. He says, in the short run, the market is a voting machine, but in the long run, it's a weighing machine. So how do we gain perspective over all this? I want to pull up the 5 again, and I want to talk through emotions and investing and hopefully provide some solutions or things to think about when it comes to your investing decisions. So number 1, impulsive or emotionally driven decisions that you may later regret when it comes to investing. So this one's interesting, but I like to use a little perspective here, and it's one reason I like investing in private real estate, because often real estate's very slow moving, right? When you get a property under contract, you usually have 30 days, 60 days, sometimes even 90 days to do proper due diligence, to make your final investing decision. And as an investor looking at a real estate private placement, you could have days, weeks, months, or sometimes even the latter part of an entire year to end up making your investment decision. So if you have that kind of flexibility, definitely sleep on it. Don't fall prey to FOMO, fear of missing out. Number 2, trading while drunk. You guys, this one's just ridiculous. I don't even know what to say about this. Can you ever say that being drunk has led to you making a better decision in life? I don't think I can say that. So again, sleep on it, give it some time, make the decision in the morning, the next day, moving on. Number 3, difficulty keeping emotion out of investing. And I'm actually surprised this is not a higher percentage. Some things that have helped me over the years is number 1, create a plan and stick to it. Number 2, diversifying my portfolio has helped. Number 3, dollar cost averaging. And yes, you can do that with real estate or real estate private placements. And number 4 is understanding your risk tolerance and what it is you're comfortable with and what it is you're not comfortable with. Number 4, losing sleep, worrying about the stock market. The first thing to understand is there's a lot more you can invest in out there in the world than just the stock market. So just realizing that, number 1. Number 2, it's often helpful to take a look at a long-term historical chart when you're talking about asset classes. For example, if we use real estate, You could say, well, the median home price in 1990 in America for a single family home was about $123,900. Fast forward to 2022, it was $440,300 for a single family home. And if you want to use the stock market as an example, take a look at the S&P 500. Over decades and decades, the historical returns are somewhere in the ballpark of 8 to 10% a year. It doesn't mean that's going to happen like clockwork every year. You're going to have years like 2022 where the markets are down, and you're going to have other years where the markets are extremely high, like 2021, but the long-term average has been about 8 to 10%. So short-term fluctuation should not bother you if you're a long-term minded investor. Number 5, crying over investing. And look, first and foremost, no judgment here, but this is how I think about it. Is it worse to learn how to invest, or is it worse to have not accomplished your goals and objectives in life? And to me, it would be much more justified to cry over not having a life by design. In fact, I want to leave you with this to think about to conclude the episode. There's an author, her name is Bronnie Ware. She used to be a registered nurse out in Australia. She worked in a terminally ill patient care unit with people living out their final days in life. She ended up writing a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying, and here they are. Number 1, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Number 2, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Number 3, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. Number 4, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. Number 5, I wish I had let myself be happier. So how many of these regrets had to do with money? Well, the only one that even comes remotely close is I wish I hadn't worked so hard. So let your money work for you so that you don't have to work so hard. Something to think about here for the week. You're listening to the Passive Income Lifestyle Series. I'm your host, Travis Watts. If you ever have questions about Ashcroft Capital, multifamily investing, private real estate, cash flow, you can reach me at travis@ashcroftcapital.com. To learn more about current offerings, visit avaf3.com. Have a great week, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. To stay up to date with Ashcroft Capital or to view current offerings, please visit avaf3.com.